Part 2: The Ghosted Goddesses: How Jerry Yen Kept Saying No for the Woman He Couldn't Live Without. Continuation focused exclusively on elaborating Part 2. Deeper scenes, heightened emotion, and dramatic fallout from Jerry Yan's repeated rejection of romantic advances from high-profile celebrities. A balcony in Bali and a supermodel's last attempt. In the soft glow of a Bali sunset, Jerry Yen stood barefoot on the wooden balcony of a five-star resort. He had just wrapped a wellness campaign shoot with international fashion brand Zenith. The creative director had arranged a private post-wrap celebration, intimate, exclusive, and heavily whispered about. Among the invitees, Arya Lin, Asia's most in-demand supermodel. Arya had made her intentions clear from the beginning: flirtatious touches, lingering stares, and constant requests to run lines from Jerry's past dramas. By the time they reached the final day of the shoot, everyone on set believed sparks were flying. But Jerry's heart was 1,000 miles away, in Beijing, where Tong Liya was quietly rehearsing for a stage play she refused to tell the press about. As the sun dipped low, Arya approached Jerry with a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. "Can we toast to something real?" she asked. He didn't respond. He was staring out at the ocean, fingers quietly twisting the silver ring on his index finger, the one he always wore but never explained. Arya stepped closer. "You know I don't fall for actors. But you're different." Jerry turned, eyes gentle but unreadable. "I'm sorry, Arya. You deserve a man who can look at you fully. I still see someone else." She laughed bitterly. "Is she even here with you?" "No," he said, voice low. "She's everywhere else." Scene 2, the script he burned. In 2019, Jerry was approached with a kind of role that makes international careers. A European-Japanese co-production titled Whispers of Rain, featuring a tortured romantic lead opposite Italian actress Bianca Moretti. Every page oozed seduction, longing, and danger. There was one caveat. Bianca was known to blur the lines between fiction and reality with her co-stars, and she made it clear she expected the same from Jerry. At a private dinner in Rome, Bianca leaned in and said, "We don't just act love. We live it." Screen. Otherwise the camera sees the lie. Jerry didn't flinch. "But what if the truth I live is with someone else?" She blinked. "Then don't do the film." He didn't. Jerry flew back to Taipei the next morning, script pages in his carry-on. Once home, he lit the fireplace in his apartment, and one by one fed the pages to the flame. His assistant, watching in shock, asked, "Why not keep it? Even for reference?" Jerry said softly, "Because the moment you rehearse temptation, you give it room to grow." Scene 3. The actress who called him a coward. The fallout wasn't always silent. In 2020, Jerry was cast in a limited series with Hu Iran, a veteran actress and one of China's most formidable female stars. She was also known for speaking her mind, on set, in interviews, and in her heart. She and Jerry shared electric scenes on screen, but off-screen things soured quickly. Iran grew frustrated with Jerry's emotional unavailability. One night, after a long shooting day in Bali, she cornered him outside his trailer. "Why do you act like love is a sin?" she demanded. "You hide behind kindness, but all you do is run." Jerry looked at her, tired but composed. "I'm not running. I'm rooted. That's why I won't move." Iran scoffed. "Rooted to a ghost, maybe. Whoever she is, she's made you a coward." He didn't respond. He walked away. But later that night, Jerry took out a pen and scribbled in his leather journal. "You can't chase new winds when your heart has already found home." Scene 4. The Cannes Catastrophe. During the Cannes Film Festival in 2022, Jerry was invited to a yacht party hosted by a luxury film brand. Rumors had already begun swirling. An American actress named Camille Leroux had been dropping hints on Instagram that Asia's most elusive leading man had finally responded to her DMs. Camille arrived at the party in a custom silver gown, trailing cameras and anticipation. When Jerry boarded the yacht, she greeted him with a slow, deliberate kiss on the cheek. Cameras clicked. Later, during a private cocktail hour, Camille gently led Jerry to a quieter deck, overlooking the dark Mediterranean. "I've admired you since I was 17, she said. "But I didn't realize how alone you always seem." Jerry sipped his drink silent. She placed a hand over his. "Maybe it's time you stop hiding from happiness." He removed her hand gently and stood. "I'm not hiding from happiness," he said. "I'm honoring it." The next morning, Camille posted a cryptic story. "Even the coldest oceans can't drown a ghost." Jerry's phone stayed off the entire day. Tong Liya, unaware of the incident, sent him a photo of her childhood village covered in snow. His reply: "Still the only place I want to return to." Scene 5, the therapist's room. In private, the weight of these constant deflections began to take its toll. Jerry began therapy in late 2022, not for heartbreak but for emotional exhaustion. His therapist later revealed anonymously. He wasn't broken. He was burdened. He had become so used to carrying the responsibility of protecting love that he forgot how to experience it. Jerry confessed in one session, "Sometimes I wonder if saying no so often has made me forget how to say yes, even to her." His therapist asked, "When was the last time you said yes to yourself?" Jerry paused. "The night I asked her to marry me." Scene 6. Tong Liya's breaking point. All the while, Tong Liya remained his constant, his secret and his sanctuary. But being invisible to the world came at a cost. One winter evening in 2023, after another tabloid linked Jerry to a K-drama co-star, Leah confronted him quietly in their countryside retreat in Kent, UK. "Sometimes I wonder," she said as snow fell outside their window, "if I even exist in your world." Jerry was stunned. "You're my whole world." "Then why does the world never see me?" she asked, tears forming. "Why am I always a shadow?" Jerry sat beside her. For the first time in years, he opened the drawer beneath their shared desk and revealed a photo album. It was filled with unseen photos, of her asleep on long-haul flights, laughing beside mountain lakes, smiling through rainstorms. Hundreds of moments Jerry had captured when no one else was looking. He handed her a note tucked into the last page. "I didn't hide you from the world. I hid the world from you," Leah cried. He held her as the snow continued to fall. Scene 7. The woman who fought for his heart and lost. In late 2023, a former K-pop idol-turned-actress named Hannah G confessed during a podcast that she had once fallen stupidly hard for Jerry Yen during a fashion campaign shoot in Seoul. "He was everything: tall, poetic, calm. He gave me butterflies every time he smiled." The host asked, "Did you ever tell him?" Hannah laughed, bitter. "I did. I asked him straight, 'Is your heart open?' He told me, 'It's not locked. But it's not empty either.'" "Did you cry?" "No," Hannah whispered. "But I watched the man I wanted walk away, still in love with someone I'll never know." The airport goodbye that wasn't. It was 2016, at the height of Jerry Yan's cross-border popularity. He was flying out of Seoul after a fan event when a woman intercepted him at the private terminal lounge. Ha-rin, a former K-pop idol-turned-actress, whose face graced nearly every billboard in Gangnam. Their agencies had tried to pair them up for a joint brand campaign. Fans had already begun shipping them after their brief stage appearance went viral. But Jerry was never one for fake sparks. Ha-rin approached him just minutes before boarding. No cameras, no staff. Just her wrapped in a long trench coat, face raw and honest. "Jerry," she said quietly, "everyone says we look good together. Maybe it's time we stop pretending we don't." He looked up from his notebook, where he'd just written a line of poetry for Leah. "What looks good doesn't always feel right," he replied gently. Ha-rin smiled, but it trembled. "What does feel right, then?" Jerry slowly turned the notebook so she could read. The silence in her eyes is louder than applause. Without saying another word, he stood, bowed, and walked away. Scene 2. The almost affair at the villa. In 2017, while filming a commercial in Tuscany, Jerry was housed in a private villa alongside 3 other ambassadors, one of them being Valeria De Luca, Italy's hottest rising star. Valeria was bold, unapologetically flirtatious, and made no secret of her interest. Their scenes together were electric. The campaign went viral in Europe, and rumors exploded after they were spotted laughing together under the vines of the villa's terrace. What the media didn't know: Valeria had invited him into her room that same evening. And Jerry had walked in, only to hand her a book. "You quoted Rilke earlier," he said. "This is his first edition. I thought you'd appreciate it." She took it, touched by the gesture but confused. "You're not staying?" she asked, voice low. He shook his head. "I don't make promises I can't keep. And I can't break the one I already made." Valeria leaned against the doorframe. "She must be extraordinary." He smiled almost wistfully. "She's not trying to be. That's why she is." Scene 3. The co-star kiss that never happened. In 2018, Jerry signed onto a romantic melodrama titled Ocean Between Us, opposite Zhang Shumi, known for her intensity and method acting. Their final scene was meant to culminate in a passionate kiss atop a rooftop during a storm. As the scene approached, Shumi pulled Jerry aside. "Let's just do one unscripted take," she said. "No cut. Just real. Let it happen." Jerry looked at her, then up at the stormy sky. "You want real? Then I need to tell you. I only kiss one woman in real life. And that woman isn't in this script." Shumi flushed, more from embarrassment than anger. The scene was revised. The kiss was replaced by an emotional embrace that critics later called more powerful than anything physical. Later that night, Jerry mailed a gift to Tong Liya, a framed photo from the shoot. On the back he wrote, "Even on rooftops meant for others, I stand only for you." Scene 4. The producer's offer. By 2019, Jerry's refusal to play the tabloid game had earned him a reputation. Private, unpredictable, but magnetic. That year, a major producer from Los Angeles made him an offer. A leading role in a global streaming drama, co-starring with British-Chinese sensation Amelia Rowe. The chemistry would be written as steamy. The character's arc required multiple intimate scenes, both physically and emotionally. Jerry sat silently after the pitch. The producer leaned forward. "We'll make you Asia's most internationally recognized face again. All you have to do is say yes." Jerry finally asked. "And if I say no?" The producer laughed. "Then you stay loyal to a woman no one even knows you're with." Jerry stood, buttoned his coat and said, "She doesn't need to be known by the world, because she's known by me. Completely." He turned the roll down. Later that week, he sent Leah an old Polaroid of them from their mountain retreat, with a sticky note. "The only co-star I'll never replace." Scene 5. The reunion that never was. In early 2020, Jerry received an invitation from an old flame, someone the press never confirmed, but insiders always suspected. Actress Chow Mei had just finalized her divorce and reached out for a reunion project. She proposed they co-direct and star in a film together, something intimate and poetic. They met once, at a quiet tea house in the outskirts of Taipei. Chow Mei smiled, looked him in the eye and asked, "Are you still holding on to the one woman you never confirmed?" Jerry nodded. "And I always will." Chow Mei chuckled sadly. "Then I guess our story ended before it began." He raised his tea. "To stories that never needed chapters, because they were never meant to be books." They parted ways under a lantern-lit sky. Neither looked back. Scene 6. The hidden birthday. That same year, Tong Liya's birthday came and went without a single headline. But in the woods behind their shared countryside hideaway in Kent, Jerry built something most would never see. A hidden garden, lined with rare Uyghur flowers he had flown in from Xinjiang. On her birthday morning, she woke to a trail of petals leading from their bedroom to the back gate. He stood at the garden's entrance, holding a single note. "I turned down the world so I could build you one." She cried in silence. Jerry said nothing. Just held her hand and walked her through a garden no one would ever photograph, yet bloomed with more meaning than any red carpet ever could. Closing reflection. They say Jerry Yen had the world at his feet. Maybe he did. But what no one saw, what no headline ever caught, was the quiet, steady way he kept turning away from that world, from fame's seduction, from beauty's chase, and from every almost that could have been, for the sake of one quiet, unassuming woman who never asked him to. Tong Liya didn't need him to choose her publicly, because Jerry Yen had already chosen her privately, again and again and again, and he never stopped.